Shabbat Shalom, L'chaim, L'chaim. This week's Torah portion is Terumah. And the whole Torah portion is essentially focused on the building of the Mishkan, the sanctuary in the desert, where Moshe would go and he'd speak with Hashem. And the Torah portion essentially outlines every step of building the Mishkan. You know, how many wooden poles would be on the side. They had different kinds of curtains and different tapestries woven out of different materials, goat's hair. The tachash is mentioned in this week's Torah portion as well, which they say only existed during that time. It says in the Gemara. So it's very interesting, and there's a lot of laws which, you know, are hard to connect to. But one thing that I did really love was something that I heard brought down by Rav Pinson, which is really brought down from the Baal Shem Tov. And what the Baal Shem Tov was saying and how Rav Pinson explained it was all the Jews donated physical things to the building of the Mishkan for a holy purpose. And in the same way, we too need to donate things to a holier purpose. Now, we understand this in the sense of, okay, I've earned money, and now I could give money to charity, and that's a holy purpose. Or, you know, I'm sewing something, let me make it into a yarmulke, and that could be used for a holy purpose. Or I have silver, let me make it into a Kiddush cup, and then people will make Kiddush on this, and that's a holy purpose. But what the Baal Shem Tov was saying, and it's very interesting, is he said it over so many times, but it was always slightly different. And his students took out so much more from this in so many more nuanced ways. And so the one way that you can explain it is that we're not only donating physical things, but we're also donating psychological aspects of ourselves to a holier purpose. And I'll give some examples of what this means. One example is in Breslev, in the Breslever Hasidim, there's a minhag to laugh at the end of Havdalah, because you're essentially saying, I'm going to start this week b'simcha, with a laugh and happiness. And so they laugh at the end of Kiddush. Now, the idea of the laugh is very interesting because the act itself is forced. You know, nothing funny is happening per se. I'm just laughing. So you're forcing a laugh. But what it does is you start to see everyone else laughing, and it actually makes you happier, and you actually start to really laugh. So what you've done is you've forced an act. It's inspired the emotion of happiness, and you've donated this emotion of happiness to the holy purpose of Havdalah, which is, in essence, what he's talking about, what the Baal Shem Tov is trying to say here. Donate these things. Work on your midot in a way that they elevate to a holier purpose. I'll give another example. And this is one of the nuances in a different way of understanding, is say you have a person who wants to wake up in the middle of the night and do tikkun chatzot, a very special prayer that some people do in the middle of the night. And so he knows, you know, when I wake up in the middle of the night, my body's lethargic, it's heavy, I don't want to get out of bed. So every day he buys himself a slice of cake, his favorite cake. And he says, I'm going to go to bed and I'm going to wake up for the cake. And he wakes up in the middle of the night and he has no problem getting out of bed. And he goes and he has some cake, and then he's able to do tikkun chatzot. What he's done is he's taken this ability, this inability rather, to wake up. He's used this cake to help him go, and now has elevated the whole thing to a spiritual place, to a holier purpose. So you can see the nuance. One is taking a physical thing and allowing yourself to elevate it. And the other one is taking a spiritual or psychological thing and elevating it, meaning an act, laughter. You'll see a lot of Breslevers are clapping as well. In a way, they're inspiring happiness. And when you inspire happiness connected to holy things, then you actually breed positive emotion in your service. Now, you'll see a lot of this in secular studies about, Ayala brought up a book called Atomic Habits, where you don't want to go to the gym, so you say, okay, I won't go to the gym, I'll go walk around the park that I love, and that way I still get exercise. The reason this is different is because we can't change the things that we are obligated to do. For example, I need to daven 3 times a day. I cannot change that. It's what the Torah obligates of me. But I can change how I feel about it. I can clap, I can laugh, and I'll make myself connect to happier feelings when I'm doing those things. So, B'ezrat Hashem, we should all, merit to think about this, meditate on it, and to bring it into our lives, to elevate our psychological aspects to holier places. Shabbat Shalom.